Imagine a ridiculously complex mechanical clock full of cogs and springs and gears. What would happen to it if these components gradually deteriorated over time and nobody ever came around to fix or replace them? That's sort of what happens to the human body with aging. Your body is the clock and proteins are the cogs. And even though, unlike a clock, the body knows how to deal with broken cogs to a certain degree, there comes a point when it could definitely use some help. If you think about it, we are all machines, unimaginably complex machines made out of tiny parts, but still machines. Look under the bonnet and you can see the larger moving parts, organs and blood vessels. Zoom in further and you can see individual microscopic machines or cells constantly interacting with each other and running calculations to find out what they should do next. Zoom in even further and you finally see the smallest machines in the body, including millions of tiny nanomachines called proteins, which are made from different combinations of amino acids following the exact blueprint given by the cell's DNA. These proteins do everything, from sensing the environment and digesting materials, to maintaining the structure of the cell, sending electrical signals, and even contracting muscles. If a cell has a purpose, you can bet that proteins are involved in making it happen. Looking at how important these proteins are, it's not that surprising that problems with them are thought to be a primary hallmark of aging, directly leading to many diseases such as Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, and heart failure. We lump these problems together as the loss of proteostasis, which is, simply put, the accumulation of damaged proteins because of glitches or misfolding in their creation, or because of something like sugar binding to them, which turns them into harmful versions of themselves. This can both happen to proteins inside of cells, such as enzymes, or proteins outside of the cells, like the structural protein collagen. Either way, all forms of this damage reflect a loss of proteostasis and can cause serious health problems. While the body does have some mechanisms, such as the ubiquitin proteasome system and lysosomes, to try to destroy these damaged proteins, these mechanisms do not always work, causing damaged proteins to build up over time until they eventually cause diseases. So, how do we fix the problem? There are a lot of different options, such as slowing down the accumulation of these damaged proteins or trying to reduce their negative effect. But we're going to focus on the third strategy, which is being researched right now: destroying or removing these proteins. If we take Alzheimer's disease as an example, there are 3 versions of this strategy which are being explored, and in one case completed. We'll start with the success story, but to understand it, we first have to understand Alzheimer's disease. Alzheimer's disease is thought to be caused by the accumulation of a combination of 2 types of misfolded, damaged proteins: amyloid beta, which is found in the spaces between the cells, and tau protein, which is found within the cells. These misfolded, disease-causing proteins can cause other proteins to transform into them on contact, causing them to aggregate and spreading the damaged proteins throughout the brain. Amyloid beta also seems to help spread tau, meaning that a therapy targeting it may have an indirect impact on both. Recently, a pharmaceutical company called Gryphos successfully completed a final phase clinical trial to slow Alzheimer's disease and actually managed to slow its progression by over 50%. To do this, they drew blood from the patient, then cleaned it of waste, including amyloid beta, before injecting it back into the patient. In theory, this removal of amyloid beta from the blood would cause the blood to drain this harmful protein from the brain, preventing the disease from progressing. This is a major point to take from the trial. While it didn't outright cure Alzheimer's disease, it revealed the first chink in the disease's armor and can slow it down a lot. This is quite an exciting and important first step, and hopefully it won't be long until this therapy could actually be used in the clinic. Two other strategies to fight Alzheimer's disease are GAME and Arethusa. The first, GAME, is currently in phase 1 human trials and so far seems to be safe for use, which is all that a phase 1 trial aims to find out. GAME exploits a similarity in both of the disease-causing proteins to target them both at the same time, preventing them from forming their usual harmful structures and allowing the body to break them down. So far, there is no evidence that the therapy actually works, but trials may reveal if it does over the next few years. The second, Arethusa, is currently being tested in animals, and the therapy seems quite promising. It unclogs a waste-clearing passage, allowing the older diseased brain to maintain itself in the same way as a young brain, which will hopefully reverse the constant accumulation of amyloid beta over time instead of just in a single burst. While this strategy may not directly impact tau, the other disease-causing protein, tau is spread by amyloid beta, which means that this strategy may indirectly have an effect on tau as well. All of these projects are just a small part of the larger rejuvenation industry that is focused on tackling this and other root causes of aging. There are many more projects focused on loss of proteostasis, such as research on drugs to break down a common form of damaged collagen called glucosapan, which can stiffen arteries and has been associated with common causes of death such as heart attack and stroke.